Hey everyone, it's BrickWaffle again, and we're back with another Let's Build in Minecraft, and today we're going to use a super flat world with grass out here. We got some animals out here, but there shouldn't be any monsters spawning, and you can probably tell from the thumbnail and the title of this video that today what we're going to do is a trading center. And by that, what I mean is let's build some place that when we put our villagers in, it's going to look nice and be some place we can easily trade with them and get all the resources we need very conveniently as well. So we're going to use some basic materials here, and we're going to probably grab some cobblestone walls. And let's also use some slabs. Let's get some stone slabs. And this is going to be kind of our starting palette. So we want it to blend in with any village. So we're going to use some of the basic oak materials. And of course you could change this up and use any materials that you wanted. If you wanted to use something a little different. And let's go ahead and grab a fence post as well. Let's use oak fences, and villagers can open gates, so we're not going to be using those very much. And we'll probably need some rails at some point. We'll talk about how to get villagers into here. But what we want to do is be able to design some cells to hold the villagers that we want to keep, because letting them run around in a regular village is kind of dangerous. And I've seen a lot of designs out there where it can be very efficient. You put them in like a little one-wide prison space, and we're going to do something similar to that, but we're going to make this look a little bit nicer than the typical redstone contraption for holding villagers. So we're going to start by trying to figure out what kind of cell we can use that will hold a villager. And this one's pretty common. You see like this little box right here, you put a villager in it. They can move around a little bit, but they're not going to be able to move around enough to get out of the way. And you can, obviously you could tile this and make a bunch of these right next to each other. This would work just fine. And I've seen this design a lot too. It's, you know, kind of the same, basically you're putting villagers in little animal pens. You could do the same thing out of cobblestone fences, cobblestone walls here. And this is a little bit different, but same kind of concept. They still can't jump out of this, but if you're doing this underground, you could do that. And you could do it out of solid blocks, but once you start going out of regular blocks, they can just walk up over the side and out. So we might use a combination of these two things. And the nice thing is, and also the downside is, these don't connect to each other, so you can use these side by side, and you can actually kind of walk between them, but you can't, they won't connect. So you might be able to do this with an exterior wall as well. But let's go ahead and start with that kind of structure, and let's decide how many villagers we need. We want this to be one for each of the major enchants. So we're going to start with, that's not even right. We're going to start with some things like we're going to get a villager. We're going to get librarians who can give us some of the enchanting books for cheap for emeralds. But we want somebody that has sharpness, somebody that has maybe unbreaking, efficiency, fortune, silk touch would be good, maybe aqua affinity, and respiration, and depth strider. So what do we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Eight villagers that we would want to capture. Now, we could do it that way, nice big long row, but let's actually change this up a little bit now that we've put this in. And this is a Let's Build, not a tutorial, so if you're following along, you may want to skip to the end first and see what it's going to look like. And don't try and build this in survival until you've watched the whole video. Because what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and do this on the other side as well. And like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make a hallway in the middle so we can put 4 villagers on either side of us. So here we go. There's 8 villagers. Now this is starting to look a little bit like a stables, and we might want to mix this up a little bit. Like I said, if you try to do this and change the colors, villagers will be able to walk through there. That's not going to work for us. So we do need to keep with the consistent thing with the fences. But we could do the exterior wall like that in a solid blocks, and that would be fine too. So let's try that look a little bit here. Let's go back and get some of those two materials. Now, oak wood planks, this is going to look pretty decent, but I think just for sake of color change, we're going to use spruce planks here. And we're going to come up by 2 blocks to make sure that they can't get out of there. We're going to do the same thing over here, so all the way across here. Oops, not there. Not there. Okay, so that's going to give us some spruce back walls here. We're actually going to take out that block in each of these so we can put in a window for these guys. And then we'll probably just come up one more across the top here, just like that. And this is looking pretty generic, pretty bland. I know. It's okay. It's just a start. And it kind of still looks like a stables, but that's all right, because what we need to be able to do is to be able to put villagers into here. And we're going to talk about how to do that too in a little bit. So now what we want to do is take oak wood, and we're just going to come up to the sides here. 1, 2, 3, like that. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. And so far, that's pretty decent. You've got 2 walls. You know what this is going to look like on the interior. We're going to need to do the floor, but we can do that in a little while as well. So now what do we need to do? We need to make this thing look like it's a little bit different. It needs to stand out, have some depth. Let's try some spruce stairs, and let's go ahead and get the oak stairs as well. So one thing you could do is you could use stairs like this. Oops, nope, not like that. And have some little windows, and I think that's going to look pretty good. We could even do the same thing at the top. Let's do that. Nope, there we go. That's going to give the building a little bit more depth right off the bat. So we're going to stick with that approach. And same thing up over here. Oops, nope, not that one. That guy. That gives a little depth here on the sides. But, you know, this is looking pretty normal here. What we're going to do is we're going to add, oops, not that. We're going to add some spruce planks along both sides here. And then we're going to do upside down stairs and regular stairs. Regular stairs here and upside down stairs there. And then we're going to put in like that. Nope, no we're not. That looks terrible. Change of plans. We're going to do that right here, actually. We're going to do no, not those. Stairs, stairs, and stairs. And we're going to do that over here. And then we're going to come up like this. Oh, we missed one. That's why. Okay, bring it down this way. And then stairs, upside down stairs right in the corner. A little bit better, but I think we're going to change this up again. We're going to do this way. Oop. And then this. No? No, it's not. That's not looking good at all. All right, but that's the whole point of the Let's Build. We're going to do some experimenting. Let's go ahead and leave this as flat walls for now. And we're going to come back and add some detail here in a little while. So this could be a double door into here. And then you can do a double door at the back, or you could just have a solid wall. And maybe what you want is the solid wall so that you can have some signs. Maybe you want a window back here. Yeah, let's do a window. And let's do this the same way with the stairs at the top and bottom. So we'll have a nice flat window back here. Okay, inside looking very flat. Outside looking kind of bland and boxy. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're going to change that up a little bit. What we want to do is come around and let's try adding some... Oh, no. Let's get some stairs, some stone stairs. So we need some stone brick slabs. And not monster eggs, but regular stone bricks. And stone brick stairs. So stone bricks might be a little tough to do when you're first starting out. But I think it's going to look good when we're all done. So we're going to go with this for now. That needs to be taller if we're going to do that. It needs to be a lot taller. Let's come back to that in a little bit. But stone bricks are going to be a nice little accent piece for us once we figure out our doors. You know, one thing that might help, actually, is making this thing one wider and having a 3-wide hallway inside. So I'm going to do that, and I will be right back. And voila. Okay, so what I've done is I just moved the whole thing over by 1 block to the right. You can see that's where the old wall was. This is where the new wall is. And now what we have is a central door here, and that means we can put in some decorative pieces here. And what we're going to do is actually use some cobblestone materials. Let's get some cobblestone stairs and maybe some cobblestone slabs. Oop, yeah, let's throw those on the ground. Nope, that's... Where did it go? I don't know. All right, we're going to get those slabs again. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to do that. Nope, that. And that. And then we're going to put in regular cobblestone. Yeah. No, I don't really like that either that much. Let's try the stairs again. That's going to look a little bit better. Okay, we're going to keep that for now. We might change this up a little bit in the future, but for now we're going to keep with just the openings here like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to come up 1 more block on these pillars. Yep, that's going to help. And then we're going to go back and do the stone brick feet on each of these. And at the top we're going to do that. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit better now. Okay, so we're going to put the stone bricks just in the corners on the bottom and the top. Nope. 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 There we go. Okay, there we go. We got all those. That's looking pretty good. And then we're going to come back up with our oak wood logs, and we're going to come right across the top of this. Yep, we're going to frame that out just like that, all the way around the whole building. Okay, and then we're going to do this side. There we go. And the last one all the way along here. Okay, so it's still a big box, still very, very rectangular. It's going to have to be to some extent, so we're going to have to mess around with a little bit of this. You know what? I think we're going to have a narrow window in here, and we're going to mirror that kind of staircase pattern that we did in the front right here. Oops, nope, that way and that way. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. It's easier to tell what's going on there. So we got our windows, we've got this little ladder pattern. Inside, still pretty bland, but we're going to work on that in a little bit. Just be patient. Hang in there. What we need to do now is come across the top, and we're going to go back to using cobblestone slabs, because, you know, if you guys are doing this in survival, you might not have tons of stone bricks, and it looks decent. So let's go ahead and do this. We'll save a little bit of the stone brickwork. We're going to bring this roof line all the way around. Hello, chicken. I hear you. There we go. That's looking nice. Looking pretty good. You could do that here and here as well, but actually I kind of like the corners having that little bit of exposed. It gives it a little change in depth. We don't want to just be a pure rectangle everywhere. We don't want just squares. And then we're going to have to do a little bit more work here as well. But for now, that's going to help us give a little definition, a little shape. And we're going to do some decorations on the outside too when we get to that point. So now we're looking pretty decent. Time to go ahead and pick a floor, I think. So we used spruce wood up here. Let's go ahead and go back and get that oak wood, and we'll use that in the floor inside. So starting right there, we're going to take all this out and basically replace the whole thing with oak wood planks. Okay, not that one. No, not that. There we go. We're going to do the whole thing with oak wood planks. I'm going to do that off camera, and I will be right back. All right, there we go. So we've got our oak wood floor. Let's clear out some of our inventory here, just so we have some space. Now inside, we've got a nice wooden building. But you know what? Inside most of these homes, you'll actually see some cobblestone as well. If you look at a village building, a lot of times you can see the cobblestone on the inside because they do these one up from the ground. And so you can see the cobble on the outside edges. Sometimes you'll even see cobble on the bottom here. And we could do that. Let's do a little experiment here. Let's take out this side and put the cobblestone in like that. How does that? No, not with those little ladder pieces there. It looks really strange. Yeah, we're going to have to go back to spruce wood on that. It was worth a little experimenting. You always want to play around with your buildings and see what looks good and what doesn't. Sometimes they're really good ideas, sometimes they're not. It's okay. I don't know that there's a whole lot else we can do to the outside here, unless we wanted to make the doorway come out a little bit. So we could do that, and we could do the doorway a couple of different ways, one of which is to extend that pattern up. Is that going to look... It's going to look a little strange, but I kind of like that. Kind of like it, kind of don't like it. Let's try it right here. Let's do it this way so they'll connect. Oh, I like that a lot. Okay, so we're going to do that on this side too. Nope, yeah, that's right. That one missed. There we go. Oh, I like that a lot better. What do you guys think? Yeah, no, that part doesn't look good. You know what though? Can we keep it that way? Yeah, I think we're going to keep it that way. It gives us a little more shape. No. It gives us, this gives us some nice detail here, and I think that's going to look pretty good. We could take it all the way to the edge. Let's try that. No, that, and that, and that. Huh, yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to keep that. Okay, so we're going to do bottom, bottom, and bottom. Yeah, that's going to look pretty decent. So now we could do a couple of things. You could put a window in right here. That's kind of an odd-shaped window, but it could work. No, not that one. That definitely doesn't work. This could be okay. We're going to leave that alone for now. We're going to stop messing with that for the time being. On this side, we could do the same thing. Let's go to the edge here and go to that side. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Nope, that way, and that way. Much better. Okay, I like that a lot. And then we're going to keep the windows the way they are on this side. So now we've got our little window at the back, our doors at the front, little windows on each of these sides. Now you could do a couple of different things. You can do glass panes. And actually, you know what might look decent is white stained glass. It depends on the texture pack. On my texture pack, I've got no lines in my clear glass. But most of the default stuff does have lines. So you might want to use a stained glass because that does not. That's pretty good. I think we're going to keep that for now. We need some kind of door. So what doors would look good here? Spruce door is pretty decent. You might want a jungle door if you can find it, or acacia, dark oak, you know, depends on what you've got. For now, we're just going to go with spruce, even though you can't see in. Actually, you know what? Because of that, let's go ahead and get the jungle door. if you guys have jungle wood, go ahead and use one of these just so you can see into the building a little bit better. If you don't, you know, use whatever you've got. But I like that some of the doors in vanilla Minecraft now have different textures so you can actually see inside. I think that's good. Okay. So what we might want to do is change up these fences a little bit. And again, like I said, this is Let's Build, so hopefully you guys aren't too ticked off at me because I'm changing things up. But we're going to replace all of these with dark oak. Nope, not that. Nope. There we go. Yeah, that contrast is going to be a lot better, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. See if I can get these in here. Yep, last few. Okay, that's looking a lot better because now what we want to do is we want to have some visual contrast. This kind of gets lost with the floor a little bit. So we're going to do all of these on both sides with dark oak. And there we go. Okay, so that's looking a lot better. I like that quite a bit. Now, one thing we haven't talked about yet is these corners. So there's really no reason that we couldn't just have these things go right to the edge, except that they won't really connect to the wall that way unless you place them. Oh, because the stairs there won't connect at all. So that's actually good that we have this because they can't get out this way, but it looks a little strange to have it just ending like that. So I think that's actually good. If we had solid blocks out there for the front wall, this would connect and you wouldn't even need that one. And these centers out here would be a little bit wider than these in the middle. So this is actually pretty decent. I actually like that they don't connect back there. Now what we want to do probably is decorate the inside a little bit. And there's a couple of ways that we can do that. One, you could alternate. Maybe we could use some jungle wood to kind of bring in the theme from the door a little bit. And you could do kind of a checkerboard pattern, and that might look decent. Let's do a few of this and see what we think. Yeah, you know what? That's subtle, but I think it's going to be good. And that way, and that way, that one. And we could continue that all the way under here if you wanted as well. So let's put the jungle wood planks under each of these. Actually, that kind of looks nice because that way you've got one under the center of each cell. And then you could go to the corners, you could leave those alone. I think I'm going to leave those alone for now. But that gives us a little bit of an interesting detail on the inside. And when you're in here looking around, you're not really going to tell that it's not against the back wall. So that saves you a few pieces of jungle wood. If you wanted to do that, I'm sure it would look fine as well. And then what we need to do is do a little bit of interior sign work here. Because what you probably want to do is put some signs over each of these guys that says what their trades are. So that it's really easy to remember. You don't have to check each time. So you could put up a sign. Let's do this one. So you could say, I don't know, like sharpness 5, 24 emeralds, right? So that you could do that sort of thing and just continue along with signs above each of these. And that way you know which trade each villager has that you've got in here. So that's going to be helpful for us. And we probably need something to break up the visual kind of, it's still pretty bland, it's just all different colors of wood. So we could use stone for that. We could use bricks. We could actually do some kind of trees or leaves in here. We're going to do some leaves on the outside for sure. You could also just put a couple paintings up back here if you really wanted to. So let's see what we got as far as paintings go. This is going to be pretty generic decoration. Nope, not that one. Let's get the too tall one here, and there's another one that's tall like that, right? I really wish Minecraft had a system for picking a painting. I know with modded you can. Is that the only too tall one? It might be. So let's just do... No. Come on now. Let's do these back here like this. Nope. Nope. There we go. Alright, so now we gotta go back out and fix that ladder, or that stairway rather. That one's just a solid block there. Yeah, okay. So I think that's pretty decent. I'm liking the way this is turning out. This looks like it's got a little bit of a decoration on the inside. Again, this is a villager trader center. It's mostly just meant to be practical and a little bit interesting to look at. So you don't want it to just be totally boring. And now we need to work on the roof, and then we're going to do some exteriors, and then we're going to try to wrap this up because we're at about 19 minutes or so right now. I don't want this to go more than 30 minutes for a Let's Build. So let's talk about what we want to do with the roof. There's a couple of choices. One is you can kind of just continue this out like this. I don't think that looks well, now that I've said that, I do think it looks particularly good. I'm going to keep it. We're going to come back, not that way. Nope. Here we are. We're going to come all the way across this way. Like that. And then we're going to do some stairs. And we'll use cobblestone stairs here for now. Nope, stairs. And this one, we're going to come up at an angle. You know what? That needs to come out one more than that still. So what we're going to do is bring this out by 1, and then we're going to do the typical thing where we kind of alternate and zigzag up to the top. But we're only going to go up, what is that, 1, 2, 3 blocks? Let's try something a little bit different here. So we're going to bring this guy out. 2 and 3. That's going to be 3 blocks, and then we're going to bring this thing right across like this and have a nice flat peak. So it's not going to be really tall. Sometimes you see these and they go all the way up to a point at the top, and I don't think that always is the best choice. So we're not going to do that today. We're not going to go with a perfectly vaulted ceiling, because honestly it's a lot of wasted space most of the time, and then you got to worry about what are you going to do with all this empty space up at the top. Okay, so there's 3 there, and let's bring this one out, and 2 and 3, and then again we're going to come across by 3. So up by 3 and across by 3. Alright, and I don't want to do the whole roof in stone. I want that to be edging. So let's come back here and let's get some other stairs. We could do spruce wood, but I think what we want to do is actually dark oak stairs. So again, this is going to be a lot of materials. If you don't have these materials, feel free to substitute with whatever you've got on hand. But then I'm just going to come across like this. We're going to fill this whole thing in. And when we get to the very top, 2 choices here. One, we can put the wood planks in, spruce wood or dark oak wood planks right there. Or we can actually run the stone slabs across the top of that. And maybe what we're going to do is a little bit of both. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let's get a dark oak slab and cobblestone slab. Whoop. There we go. So what we want to do is dark oak and cobblestone. We're going to run it like that, I think. Obviously not right there, but I need some place to start it. So we're going to come in by 1. There we are, and actually, I think what we're going to do is cobblestone cap, just like that. Yep, that's it. So I'm going to do the rest of this roof real quick. You guys can see what I'm going to do. I'm just going to bring the same pattern out all the way across from here all the way to the other side, and then we'll take a look at it when it's all set. And there we go. So now we've got the whole roof covered up, and it's sloped up, but it's not the same typical peak you normally see. So now what we want to do is we're going to take the spruce wood over here in the corners. We're going to bring that up and this way, all the way up like that till we hit the roof line on both sides. Oop, there we go. Nope, that one. And then we're going to need to get some stairs again, spruce wood stairs. And we're going to do one more window right here at the top. So we're going to come up to there and there. What do we think? Yeah? That's all right. You know what? We could do the whole thing like that. One big wide window. We have to turn this, I think. If we're going to do that, yeah, we have to turn that. Yep. Okay. So, no, not that one. That one. That one. No. You know what? I'm not so sure I like that one now. Nope, I'm sure I don't like it. This is just the attic window, so it doesn't have to be great like that. Let's just come up that way. Yeah, that's better. That'll be fine. And we're going to do the same thing on the back side. There and there. And we're going to grab the same white stained glass. There. And around the front to here. There we go. That's going to look pretty good. Now what we need to do is light some things up. So what we're going to do, actually I did this on the back, and I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but this was solid blocks in the back, and we're going to do that again here, and I'll show you exactly why. You can't put a torch on the ladders. So now those are pretty wide, but that's okay because they match this side pretty well now. So let's get some torches. Nope, torches. And on the front and back of the house, you can do that pretty easily. That's going to be easy enough to see. You could even do it up here too, since this ledge could be spawnable. And we're going to do the same thing around the front. There and there. And then up here next to the windows, there and there. And you might want to do the same thing on the sides, but you could just do it like kind of on those columns. That's going to keep those sides lit up pretty well. You know, there's lots of other options for lighting. I know some people don't like side torches. That's okay. We're not too worried about that. Again, this is something you could build in survival. Now we got this nice big inside area. So here's an obvious solution for your inside torches. Right in between the signs, just drop those. And if we look at our light levels at F3, You can see over here we've got no 7s anywhere on here. What about the middle row? Do we have 7s in the middle row? Nope. That lights up the whole thing. This whole room is now monster proof. You can't get any monster spawns in here. That's really nice. What you could do with the upstairs area, you could do a couple of different things. You could put trapdoors in and some chests, and I think that's probably what we're going to do. Because what you might want to have... Nope, not that way. Oh, yeah, we can't. Can we reach a chest if it's that high? We sure can. Okay, so let's put them on this height. And we're going to do the same thing over here. Trapdoors, and then we're going to put those chests up here. Now, you can do regular chests and just alternate, so you could do like 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 1, 2. That's okay. Or you could do it a couple of different ways. You could do a chest here, and then a chest, you know, like small chests here, like that, if you wanted to. Or you could also alternate with trap chests if you've got the materials to make trap chests. So you could do that, and then this one, and then a trap chest, and then one chest at the end. And do the same thing over here. Regular chest, regular chest, trap chest, and one at the end. And what you can do with this is if you've got a guy here that does paper trades, you can put a bunch of paper in there, a bunch of strings, whatever else. Maybe you want, and actually this is the only downside to the trap chests. It's going to make those trap doors open every time you open those. But that's alright, you know, it looks fine. Nobody's going to really notice that very often. And if you really are having trouble reaching these, you could bring those down just to open the chests up. That gives us some overhead storage, and that lets you put in whatever materials you want to trade with these villagers. Now the other things you might want are some furnaces and crafting tables, because who doesn't like those in their buildings? So furnaces are going to be a little bit tricky, but there's nothing stopping you from placing those in the floor along with your crafting tables. So furnace, they'll work just fine on the floor. Crafting table right there. Looking decent. Gives you something to do at the end of this room. And then we probably want to do something else up at the very top here. We might need some light, might need something else going on, or we can just leave it alone. That's perfectly fine too. I'm going to try one thing, which is to use some spruce slabs. And we're going to bring these right across at this level. Yeah, no, I don't like that at all. The only other place we could possibly do it is there, and that's going to look strange with the chests, or here, and that's going to look a little strange with the trapdoors. You could do all slabs instead of trapdoors up here at this level. Let's check what that would look like on this side. So up to you guys. If you prefer that look to the trapdoors, you can certainly use it. No problem in reaching it. And you won't have the issue with the redstone opening them. So let's go ahead and do both sides like that. That one all the way across here. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. Now we got some options for doing something fancy up at the top. You could do a chandelier out of some glass panes if you really wanted to be really fancy. You could do some redstone lamps. You could even do daylight sensors and that sort of thing. For now, I think what we're going to do is we're going to run some fence gates. And I'll show you why. Oh, and actually fence gates are going to be a little bit difficult to place. We're going to need some temporary blocks right at this height here. Nope. Don't get ahead of me, fence gate. Okay, so now what we can do is take all these out. Okay, open that up. And open that up. And actually, I think that looks pretty decent up there. What do you guys think? You know, obviously, if you don't like it, don't do it. But I think that's a nice little something different up there at the top that can be a little visually unique. All right, so that's going to be pretty good. Let's go outside, and we're going to do a little bit of exterior work here. And if you have Podzol, I love Podzol in the front of houses. I think it looks fine out here like this too. If you don't have Podzol, that's okay. You don't need to use it. But I think that's going to look pretty nice for some flowers. And here, what we might want to do is get something kind of close to the ground. What's going to be good? Where are the rest of my flowers? That's strange. I feel like I should have more flowers than that. Azure Bluets? Maybe, yeah, let's try that. Maybe? Yeah. And they do have different hitboxes. You see that one's kind of placed at an odd angle compared to the other one. And it looks like they just place, that's where they're going to place no matter how many times you redo it. But just a little something in the front. And then around the sides, what we can do is just use some leaf blocks. And I like jungle leaves because they tend to have the most cover. And that also fills right in nicely there. So let's do the same thing over here. And you could even do it around the back if you wanted to. And this is just going to be a quick way to decorate that, make it look a little bit better. And then if you really want to get kind of crazy out here, you can do vines, if I can spell, and have those growing off the house as well. Now, it's going to be a little strange because they won't connect to slabs or stairs, so there's not a whole lot of places you can do it. And right there, it's going to just hit the torch. But you could do them on the sides, like here, and it would come around like that, maybe, and it'd spread on its own. You could do them on the front side like that, too. Maybe we want some, like, right up here in the corners, there, and maybe on that side as well. Let it spread, just, you know, wherever you feel like you want to do that to make it look like it's been lived in for a while. And that's going to be it. I think that's really going to do it. So one last thing that you might want to do is consider adding in some, where is gravel? There it was. You might want to consider adding in a path here. And you can do this like kind of zigzagging around a little bit. But if you're a 1.9 like I am, you have another option here. You don't have to do gravel for that anymore. Let's get this put back. And let's get ourselves a shovel. And you can just right-click a path out here. So that, I think, looks really nice. I really like the paths with 1.9. I like that they're set down a little bit with Podzol. You can even see a little bit of the mulch on the sides. I think that looks really good. Now, at the very end of the video, I did say I was going to talk about how to get villagers in here. There's two different ways you can do this. Well, actually, there's a number of different ways. There's two fairly easy ways that you can do it. One, before you have these guys in place, you can just take out a block up here and run some rails over this. You have to take out the window too. Run some rails right in here and drop them in with a minecart. And let's just show you what that would look like real quick. Come back out here. Rails. So here's going to be your trick though. You can't put rails on leaf blocks or stairs. So again, same thing here. You can just drop these guys in. You can run them in like that and then just break it behind them. That's perfectly fine. And if you put a block or a gate rather, something trapdoor maybe at this level here, they'll be able to ride in, but then when you close the trapdoor, they won't be able to get out. So you can do that a couple of different ways. You can put a button up here, a lever, whatever you want to do. They can ride in here, then that will close, and they won't be able to get back out, and you can break everything, replace it all. That's one way to do it. And the other way to do it is to bring them in from the top, and maybe drop them in before you have these chests here and the slab. You could drop them in right like that. Just bring them up over the side, drop them in there, and you're good to go. So either way, you probably want to bring your villagers in before you finish all of this, or just break it and put it back. I mean, we're talking about a couple wood blocks. It's not the end of the world, I don't think. But those are two different ways you can do it. And that way you'll have all the villagers that you want in your trading center. All nice and good. So hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. If you really enjoyed it, then please subscribe. And as always, I've been BrickWaffle. Thank you for watching.